Next on Comcast Newsmakers, a nonprofit adopted a group of second graders with the promise of sending them to college. Which nonprofit? And all the details coming up. Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Sabrina Register. We are at Duncan Garden today in beautiful Manitou Park. And joining me right now is Lauren Garske. She is project coordinator for Reach for the Future. Lauren, thanks so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
On a gorgeous day.
It is beautiful.
Can't really argue with this backdrop.
No kidding. No kidding.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Reach for the Future. What does the organization do?
Sure. We're a long-term program of tutoring and mentoring for this group of 49 students that we adopted in the second grade. They attended Lidgerwood Elementary, and we provided after-school tutoring for them at the Boys and Girls Club here in Spokane and promised them college tuition if they graduate high school.
So this was 5 years ago when you started this. How did this idea come about adopting a group of second graders and mentoring and tutoring them all the way until they get to college?
You know, our three sponsors and their husbands were watching a segment of 60 Minutes on this program called I Have a Dream. And they said, we need a program like that in Spokane. And so they rallied their friends and said, hey, if we start a program like this in Spokane, will you back us? Will you support us? And the community of Spokane was wonderful and said, yes, we'll be there for you. And so they started this program.
That's pretty impressive. A lot of people will see something on TV and get inspired, but to actually put it into action can be a huge challenge.
Well, sure.
But they were able to do it, so hats off to them.
You know, we're 5 years later. Our kids are now 7th grade. They'll be attending Gary Middle School next year, so we've recently moved out of the Boys and Girls Club and have moved into the middle school so that we can again be an additional resource for them as they transition to middle school.
So tell us a little bit about this group of second graders. How have you helped them? You said tutoring and mentoring, but what does it really mean for this group?
You know, I think it's a really big deal for this group. 86% of students that attend Lidgerwood are free and reduced, so by default they're labeled at-risk youth who may not have a chance to graduate high school. So not only are we helping them academically, I truly believe we're helping them social-emotionally as well. We do a lunch buddy program, so our kids are paired with a member of the community who comes once a month and eats lunch with them. So there's a lot of different aspects to our program that help create a wonderful overall student.
Any feedback? Have you heard anything from either the teachers at the school, from the parents of these kids, or maybe even from... They were second graders, I guess they're now middle schoolers.
Well, we have a lot of success stories ranging from our outstanding test scores to the anecdotal stories. We had one student who was less than thrilled about attending school after school, and he didn't want to come to the after school program. He wasn't doing very well in school. His attitude was really poor, and by the end of his 3rd grade year, after attending the program for 2 years, he was attending both sessions of the after school program. Wow. His grades had dramatically improved, and he didn't want to leave. That last day of 3rd grade in our tutoring program, we actually had to ask him to leave because it was time to go home.
You gotta go, buddy. So, as I mentioned, you all will be financing them, paying for their college. This is for Washington State University, correct? Or a college of their choice, but they need to make up that difference.
Sure. The students can choose to go anywhere in the country. Right now, Reach for the Future is buying GET units, Guaranteed Education Tuition units, and so they will be funded up to the cost of going to Washington State. If they choose to go to a Whitworth or a Gonzaga, for example, they would be responsible for the difference, but they can also choose to go to a 2-year of vocational training, whatever they see fit for their educational needs.
And again, they just need to graduate from high school? Is that the requirement?
They need to graduate from high school. That is a requirement. And if they move out of Spokane, if they move out of Gary, we've had several students actually move out of the area. They're still eligible for the tuition assistance as long as they stay in contact and stay on track educationally.
Lauren, we're just about out of time. Optimistic that they all will be graduating?
We're going to drag them across that stage kicking and screaming, but they're going to graduate.
All right. So, Lauren Garske, thanks so much. Reach for the Future. It's great to hear about this program, and hats off to the people who made it happen.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers, headline news at the top and bottom of the hour. Hope you can stay with us.